folks. We are getting rolling here. We're going to be streaming a little bit from Boeing Field today. I was actually in a neighborhood, so I said, you know what? Let me go over there and see what's going on. And unfortunately, I already missed a couple of planes that I wanted to capture. Hopefully, they'll make their way back here. But stand by. We're just getting ready here and ready for a show from Boeing Field. Norm, if you're still here. Sorry, we're just having a little technical difficulties as we get rolling. Not here in my live feed here. So let me go back to that. Weird. So we're here at Boeing Field, and seeing how the signal holds up. It already disconnected once, which is not good, but we're going to see how this all works. Probably hard to believe, but that plane is actually louder than the 777X by far. All right. We are good to go. So we'll just keep an eye on things. All right, let's get a couple more things going here. Not quite sure why we're not hearing ATC. All right. That's a little better. Planes and trains, yep, got it all here. Lots of corporate activity. Let's see. Let's find out where this guy's going, shall we? That corporate jet. Not available, not available. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to find out who this guy is or where he's going. On the down low. Gulfstream 4. Very nice looking bird. All right, come on. Okay, I cannot forget to put my Wi-Fi hotspot away, so I put a little flag or something sitting on top of my car. We don't want to drive off with it. Top of the car. Later. And we'll forget. A couple of nice looking jets. That guy's on the move. These are one up on him. Planes, trains, and helicopters, apparently. to the left. That's the ground. Tiny little guy. Let's see who's coming in. Cessna 172. There. Nice landing. Not bad. No bouncing. Yeah, Drugger Norm, I'd fix that. Oh, Trucker Norm, I think I know what happened here. Yep, that's what happened. Oops, it helps if I hook up the actual device that you were supposed to be looking at. So, that should be better. Oh, we got a got a cleaner. This guy's show bombing me. That is not okay. That's not cool. That's just cruel and unusual function right there. Pip, I am running 1080 60. All right, this should be a little bit better. Now you should see more than just a small screen. Okay, it's a north flow today. Normally, like last week, I would prefer to be at SeaTac, but I was already here doing some work at the airport at Boeing Field, and so I decided, I'll just set up here. You have a little sky catcher. That's why I can't see it. It's like a gnat. Did I hook up the right one? I'm pretty sure I did. HDMI 3. Little box all by itself, huh? Okay. Maybe put this in too. I don't know what I set it up as. My bad. Maybe check on my laptop here. Put it over to that screen. Yeah, there we go. Now we got that box. That's what I was looking for this whole time. Alright. Obviously don't want to be looking at the sky. Little Kenmore Air caravan taking off here. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, we had the fortune of being able to see the 777X taking off out of here. And because it is a north flow, they will land from the right to left. When they do come back, let's see, go back to my standard view here. We got a NetJet Bombardier 350 coming in. So NetJets operates out of here. This is a new airline, relatively new airline. Let's see, HDMI. Let's try HDMI 2. See if that helps. Had a Prime Air that arrived a little bit earlier today. They've unloaded. I guess they're going to load up a little bit later. Of course, the UPS terminal over yonder. We do have aircraft flying above from SeaTac, but for instance, the plane that's above us right now is already 4,000 feet up. So I'm not even going to bother trying with this lens. Turn that down a little bit so we don't get double audio. Well, let's figure out what was going on. What is pointing over here? Kenmore Air going on. Other one. Kenmore Air is obviously, they have they're mostly caravans. They have quite a few float planes as well because they go up to the islands just north of Seattle in the Straits of Juan de Fuca. Goes. What else is coming up here? We got coming in. Well, let's find out. We'll zoom in here. Go over to our other view. So it is a little windy here. It's tower just checked in with the latest ATIS, and they said it was 12 knots down the runway. This does not indicate that. Let's see what kind of departures we've got going scheduled up here. So a bunch of net jets. And of course, a little bit later on today, UPS flights, as they all do every day. Some arrivals. We've got, let's see. That's that United flight that took off earlier. They went to Moses Lake. I don't know where they are at the moment, but we'll find out. And then the 777-900 says delayed till 2:30, but let's find out where it is. Wonder if it's parked at Moses Lake right now. Let's see. And on that. Show on map. That's what I needed to do. Oh, en route. Not quite. I don't think. Well, this guy's way out over Coeur d'Alene. Yeah, it's not going to be here in a couple of minutes. That is definitely not happening. Okay, well, maybe later, but clearly they are doing some testing. But they did make it out to Moses Lake, took off out of there, and I guess they're going to do their test and eventually make their way back to Boeing Field. So we'll just keep an eye on them. Actually, you know, this is the season, Trucker Norm, this is the season where people start getting out to the lake, but to be honest with you, it's so cold. It's so cold. Let's go zoom in on us here. What do we have coming in? That's another NetJets from Omaha. I know somebody who has an Omaha sound effect. Right there. Matter of fact, I think I made it for said person. He stepped on the brakes real good on that one. All right, who else is coming in here? Getting on the map yet? On our prime air for the moment. We had a Sun Country charter out here a little bit earlier today. I hadn't seen one of those in a while. Oh, here's a little PC-12. Dude doesn't even have a transponder on. What is this? Oh, Cessna in the pattern. Okay, well, I know you guys didn't necessarily tune in to see Cessnas, but this is all we got at the moment. Got a floater. There you go. So here we go. Seaport Airlines. So it says Boeing Field 2 not available. So I hope the people in the plane know where they're going. Flight radar has no clue. Oh, probably the Cessna's coming back. Okay, clean. Slide things forward just a tad. There we go. It's better. Nice buildings. All right, what else is making its way in? The FAA. Ooh. Hello. All right, let's take a look at our map. See what we see. Nothing really at the moment. Maybe take a look at our Moses Lake or Coeur d'Alene jet. Yeah. It's out there. But I don't think it's going to get here in a half hour. Okay, well, we'll just keep it. This is definitely not like SeaTac last week. Huh, weird. Let's see if we can get live ATC back up. It's not very reliable, but we'll see. See if we catch it. Okay, that might be better. The sound might actually come through now. I just realized what was going. All right. See you later, Trucker Norm. Take care. Thanks for popping in. Check back later. I'll chapterize this. If the 777X comes in, I'll have it for you. Well, we're just hanging out, waiting on our good flying friends to make their way over here. Let's see what's going on. We'll go back, take a look at our map here, and to see what's up. So, this jet across the way looks like they are prepping. That is a Challenger 350. Well, maybe not. Well, we'll find out. One of those two planes is supposed to be going. Oh, here we go. We got one right here. I got to pay attention. Oh. Still not hearing air traffic control. It's really odd. Let's check all our audio. That is good. No. Nope, nothing. Very interesting. See what else we got coming up here. Of course, without air traffic control, I can't really tell what's. I mean, it's not like being at a major airport because there's just the departures and arrivals at Boeing Field are not exactly planned or scheduled, at least in a way that flight radar can pick up on. But I'm going to keep an eye out here. Still wondering where our audio went. Let's see. That might have been it. All right, well, maybe that's it. We'll see. Beach 200. No, that is not a Beach 200. That is definitely not a Beach 200. Let's see. This guy doesn't have his transponder on yet. I am going to see if I can get. I know the. Hang on one second, folks. I'm going to see if I can get my other device to come online so we can hear ETC. There it is. Let's take a look and see if I can't get some audio in here. Oh, hello. Wind is actually pushing on my rig. That's why it went back like that. See if we can hear some ATC. Maybe, maybe not. Still not hearing anything. Just disappointed. Okay, well, that's not going to work, so I'm not going to bother. All right. Let's head back over here. There's our Beach 200 right over there. Oh, there's the Alaska 787. See if I can get it. Where are you? Maybe not. Yeah, that's it. That little blurry dot, that's the Alaska 787 right there. One of them. Looks like he is turning west. So, there we go. There's some activity. See if we do that, if we're going to get the audio out. All right, here's our Beach 200 on takeoff roll. Oh, I was right. It was a little smaller aircraft. Getting out of here. Going to Yakima. This is a Cessna Citation going to Yakima. Yakima is a hop, skip, and a short plane ride from here. All right. Get my audio back here. You're just tuning in. This is Geaux Flying. This is one of our earlier streams. We're just starting to kind of settle into a group.
This is 788, no need to respond. Plan to exit Alpha 7 or Alpha 5 for the Alpha 3 closure.
Okay. It didn't need it that loud. All right. Well, we got our audio at least. So yeah, that's the cool part about this is that you know, we just getting rolling. So a relatively new channel. We're at Boeing Field. We're based out of the Seattle area. My name is Rainy Cajun. I have this channel and a couple others, including one called Rainy Cajun. And this is a hobby. This is just something I like to do. I'm a pilot, and I have ramp access here at Boeing Field, so it's a nice place to come plane spot, mainly corporate jets. But this also happens to be where Boeing is testing most of its aircraft. So it's always a good place to catch something that you wouldn't normally see at a larger airport.
The 788 to right, Alpha 7, kind of ground point 9er.
Alpha 7 order, 788.
Turning off with his reverser still on. Gotta love that.
Cessna 303, Alki departure approved, wind 290 at 10, runway 32 left at Alpha 8, clear for takeoff.
All right. Have audio, that's a good thing. Remember this Citation is going to Yakima. And Yakima is actually, it's gotten to be a really popular place for
November
both
506
wine
Kilo Bravo, inspection X-ray
and
ILS 32 left.
really popular, like for wineries.
Sky
And then
729, traffic
also
in the
really,
upwind. The Cessna is going to be on a left turn out. Bellevue departure is approved. Wind 300 at 9er, runway 32 left.
and also a really popular place for growing hops. All the craft beer brewers. I actually used to own a brewery here. And yeah, we go to Yakima once a year to pick up our hop crop from the producers, the farmers, and actually twice a year now that I think about it, because we go for our fresh hop festival where you literally get the hops from the growers the same day that they pick it, and then you immediately turn around and go to your brewery and you brew that day. That's why it's called fresh hop. Bet you didn't know you can tune into a channel about plane spotting and learn about beer. We are multi-talented here. All right. And we are waiting on the citation. You can see here. We do have a 172 on takeoff roll. Yeah, and this, like I said, going to Yakima, 18-year-old airplane. Okay. A little windy today, not terrible. Being out in Boeing Field, I say this every time I'm here, we're essentially in this valley that just channels the wind right down the runways, which is great, but you also, there's no hiding from the wind here at all. Unlike at SeaTac where it's on a plateau, and if you're beneath the plateau, it's fine. Speaking of valleys, we do have a mountain way out there. Probably can't see it all that well, but that's Mount Rainier. Yeah, let's see if I can get a little contrast dialed in here. Yeah, not really. That's okay. Go back to our Yakima plane, figure out what's going on with that aircraft. We don't have anybody on final that I can tell. Oh, we do. We have a King Air 350. Again, not available, so I don't know where it came from. I know it's coming here, so we got that part. But that will be departing, or sorry, arriving right down through the valley here. Got the lights. Switch over. We lose our audio again? Still there. There you are. King Air 350. Hear those thrust reversers. Okay, what's next? I don't have any other aircraft. Oh, by the way, that is downtown Seattle in the distance if you're unfamiliar with the area. And then passing directly overhead right now is an Airbus A330. Delta going to Amsterdam. So you're, where'd that come from? Well, that came from Seattle International. Okay, and here goes our Yakima flight. Really hear that Beach King there. Yeah, it's right there. That Modern Aviation across the way, that building there, pretty popular FBO on the field, fixed base of operation on the field, where a lot of the private aircraft will find themselves parking. It does appear we lost our audio feed again. It's really frustrating. I don't know why liveatc.net wants us to verify that we're humans, but they do. Yes, I verified. Okay. Don't have anything on arrival, I don't believe. So this is obviously the quieter part of the day. I think once our flight test friends that are out over Moses Lake, once they make their way back over here. There's Wenatchee, let's go Spokane, Coeur d'Alene. Still doing loop-de-loops. But there's our 777X that took off earlier. I guess we could call it the 777-9. We'll see. Let's just track and see what if this thing actually. I'm keeping my eye out for planes. Let's see if this thing actually makes a turn towards Seattle. That would be cool, and I would stick around for that. So welcome to the channel. First time visiting. That doesn't surprise me because this is a new channel. I think we got 100 subscribers, maybe, at this point. This is Geaux Flying. My name is Rainy Cajun. It's not my real name, of course. But I live stream predominantly from the Seattle area. And that's my home base, so to speak. And so...
Tower, Boeing 103, experimental, we're ILS runway 32 left, and request roll to the end for the north gate.
Okay.
Boeing 103, Boeing Tower, runway 32 left, clear to land, long landing is approved.
Clear to land, runway 32 left, long landing approved, Boeing 103.
Okay, so what this...
103, traffic departing off the Bravo taxiway helicopter, they're going to be northbound.
We'll be looking, Boeing 103.
Look out the 176 Bravo, traffic.
Oh, that's interesting. It just went out again. Huh. Okay. Well, anyway, let's scooch on over here. We do have a Boeing flight.
Station Air 12 Alpha Whiskey, Boeing Tower, runway 32 left, clear to land.
Land, 32 left, 2 Alpha Whiskey.
Okay, so this is the United flight. This is 737 MAX 10. This is painted in United livery. That eventually will make its way into United's hands on the descent here. So it's about 140 knots. So I believe this particular flight, what they're going to do, and they do this frequently, is they'll touch down and then slam on the brakes and then gun it full throttle, and then they will slam on the brakes again, and they're just doing brake tests. I think this is what they're going to do. We will find out. Usually when they ask for a long landing, that is what's happening. All right, let's switch over. Be sure to check in on the channel. I am watching. Love to see you connect in. If you have any questions for me, so I don't feel like I'm all by myself. No, I'm kidding. All right, 737 MAX 10. Oh, maybe not. Nope, they're just rolling to the end. Oh well, I guess it really was a long landing. Well, one can always hope. Sometimes we'll catch them, sometimes we don't. Looks like we have a Cessna 206 either. Well, I don't think he's inbound to Renton. It looks like they're inbound here, so we'll see. Like I said, we get all kinds of planes here, all kinds of aircraft in particular. I got a flight departing here. This is our Challenger 350. See you later. Not sure where you're going, but just says not available. Oh, at least we know it left Boeing Field. Okay, let us check up on our 777. See where they may be at. Oh, look, here, check this out. Is this a good sign? I think so. They've departed whatever pattern that was, and looks like they might be headed back. If you go by the numbers here, they say estimated 237, which is 12 minutes away, and it's at 12,800 feet. So, And it's doing 340 knots. So I don't know. Kind of unusual to be down that low, especially that since they have to cross the mountain range, but I'm sure they can climb up. Okay, let's cut back over, and we will see what we see. Got another aircraft on final here. Take a closer look. See what we got. Not sure if it's this. That's a 210. That's going to Renton. What do we have here? Oh, this is that 206. Okay, well, sure. This is what it should look like. Holding it off. Touchdown. Interesting paint job on that one. All right. Yes, and we are definitely not hearing, we would be hearing air traffic control here, so something else is going on.
Flight Tower, 12 Bravo is on station, photo shoot. Cessna 12 Bravo, roger.
Okay, that was it. Found it.
Cessna 12 Bravo, traffic departing runway 32 left, straight out of Cirrus. Report traffic in sight. Roger, 12 Bravo.
Tires at Jet 167, left 32 left.
Jet 167, Boeing Tower, wind 300 at 10, runway 32 left, clear to land.
Old Cirrus taking off here. And there's that truck again. Oh, what we got there? 340. There you are. A340. Lufthansa. Bet this one's going back to Frankfurt. Right on. Like I said, we're in the departure path underneath Seattle International, so we catch a few of the heavies coming out of there when it's a north flow like this. Let's see what tomorrow's like. If tomorrow is a north flow again, I might find myself at SeaTac as long as the weather cooperates, and it's supposed to. It's actually supposed to be warmer than it is today, which means I will be there. All right, we got another aircraft on final. Tad bit out there. Let's see who it is. Let us take a look. Let's see. This is a Global 6000 coming in. Well, that's not right. Tell me if you can decipher that one. It's on a descent into Boise? Yeah, I don't think so, guys. It's coming into Boeing Field. I don't know what their deal is. Okay. About 1.5 miles, 2 miles out. There's a net jet. Okay. Not. I don't know if they came from Boise or if they came from Wichita, but I guess it really doesn't matter. Very nice. We just don't know where our or this aircraft actually came from. No, yeah, it doesn't. That'll do it. Right. Let's see what else. Oh, let's just go check on our big friend. Nope, that is not. Yep, still making our 777X, 777-9 still making a beeline for Seattle, just crossing over central Washington. You can see there's Moses Lake. That's where, now I'm hoping the aircraft doesn't make a turn towards Moses Lake. That would stink. But the aircraft itself practices, or tests, I guess they're not practicing, they're testing out at Moses Lake. So, you know, that's always an opportunity to catch it almost on a daily basis flying out of here. So we'll hopefully this is the real deal. This guy's going to be coming. Yeah, the 777's moving at a pretty decent clip, 370 knots, so fingers crossed. Keep checking in. See where they're going. Let's see. is another not available aircraft. So I have no idea. I know it's starting here, it's originating here. I have no idea where it's going. That's all right. So yeah, unlike a lot of the commercial airports, or they're landing. That's or they're parking, I guess. Landing. What did I did not have enough coffee this morning. What you'll notice about Boeing Field is that it's not nearly as active as your major airport. I mean, for obvious reasons. But like I've said, this is a place where you get to spot some pretty unique aircraft. So I'm excited about catching some of these planes. That's why I keep checking up on that 777, because I want to make sure I stick around long enough to catch it landing, because yeah, why not? Let's live stream it. So we'll just keep an eye on them. See what I see. So when I'm staying put like this, I haven't moved the camera. I'm on my iPad, just kind of checking where. Yep, I was right. That 340 is going to Frankfurt. Not a hard guess, but yes. Yes, this. Yep. Our. Yep. I think he's making his way back. He or she, it is making its way back. As you can see, we now have the distance to Seattle has closed, so that'll be nice to catch him, and then that'll probably do it for me, unless I see anything fancy on the docket. But as it stands right now, we don't have a ton of activity, except Boeing Field's really active early morning and not late evening, but you know, after the sun is usually set or about to set, just depends on the time of the year. And those are often times where I cannot make it out here, but we'll keep mixing it up. We got another PC-12 here. Seaport again. Tiny little thing. I know this. Oh man, we'll get these little audio issues sorted out, because that's super frustrating. All right, that should be a little bit better, a little bit more ambient noise. So they're saying, flight radar is saying 13 minutes. I say that's... Oh, no, he did not. Oh, this... I think they just did us dirty. Look at that. Listen, they're not... No, they're going to Moses Lake. He can't do that to us. Oh. Well, you know what? I'd rather them get it certified and all that other fun stuff than have to worry about, you know, I'd rather get this all taken care of than have to worry about whether or not the plane's going to fly anytime soon. Okay, we have an MD-500 TV show back in the, can't see him just yet, back in the 80s, called Magnum PI. It was pretty popular. We had an MD500. It's kind of back. See if I can catch it. No, not from this location. It's literally right on the other side of the car. We'll get it. We will absolutely get that. You can see off in the distance too. You can see there's some KC-135. KC-135? No. Yeah, those are over off in the distance. Yeah, we're definitely going to catch the helicopter taxiing out and taking off out of here. Might even get a wave. All right. Well. I'm not going to dwell on this plane. At least they're back in Washington State, but that doesn't mean anything. Any other activity? I don't see anything. Oh, we got an aircraft on final here. Yeah, that was another citation. That was from Mount Vernon. All right. They look like they might be taxiing. I got our helicopter taxiing. See if we can catch them. There it is. What he's doing. Also, we got a little activity going on in the field here across the way. G600 from Boeing Field to who knows where. Up close and personal. I like that. See you later. He has so much fun in it. Look at that. This guy just has so much fun. He's just zooming around. Where'd he go? He just did a complete. That's the tightest downwind I've seen. Well, that was fun. Yeah, you can see he's already off the. No, he's way off in the distance now. Yeah, he's gone. Lots and lots of helicopter activity. Nothing wrong with that. I wonder where they're headed to. Yep. 111 knots already. Helicopter. Zoom, zoom. Okay, what else do we got? And another net jet. No, that one's... Oh, diverted to Seattle. That's odd. Instead of Boise. I wonder what happened there. R44 Raven 2. Okay, let's see. Anything else coming in? Just gotta be patient. Huh, okay. Well, see, going back here. Still out over Moses Lake. 360 knots. Been staying at about 15,000 feet. So, I mean, anything's possible at this point. Got a Cessna on. I don't know what is going on here, folks. Don't know why I don't have any air traffic audio. It's just nutty. Doesn't surprise me. Tiny little Cessna taking off here.
Wind is going to be in the left now. Green Lake Parker is through. Wind 300 at 11. Runway 32 left 30.
I don't know why we get an echo. That is odd. Let's see here. What is going on? Shouldn't be getting any kind of echo at all. Well, we'll just keep an eye on it. Boeing.
Roger, Sky 70, wind is Cessna is going to be in a left turnout. Green light departure is approved. Wind 300 at 11. Runway 32 left, clear for takeoff.
Yes, that's off the first mark. Is that first vehicle?
Sky 74, affirmative. Runway 32 left, clear for takeoff. Green light departure is approved. Traffic in the upwind is going to be in a left turnout.
32 left, clear departure.
I think our live ATC is a little bit delayed. You know what? Maybe that'll be an investment at some point down the road. Get a scanner so we just plug it in live. Be easier that way. So if you're just tuning in, passing by, stopping in for a bit, this is Geaux Flying. We are at Boeing Field, or King County International Airport. We are situated about midfield, or what they call midfield, a little bit to the south, but we are amidst a bunch of, as you can see here, hangars, business jets, smaller private planes, FBOs. We have a Prime Air 767 over there, and then the Seattle UPS terminal is off in the distance there. So you can't see it, but here's the control tower, kind of a short control tower. But that is just beyond that is the Boeing facility. As a matter of fact, you can kind of see the top of that building and off in the distance there. That is one of the Boeing facilities here at the airport. This is where customers take delivery of a lot of the aircraft that they purchase from Boeing. This is also home of the test fleet. Well, it's not home necessarily, but this is where they park before they go out for a test. I guess most of the pilots live in the area, so they'll come here, saddle up into whatever plane they happen to be testing, and then go on their merry way for the day, and then end up back here later on in the day. It's fun to watch when you've got a lot of aircraft coming in and out of here, but on days like today, it's clear we're a little bit slower. But the nice thing about going live is, you can watch live while you're doing other stuff. But also, one of the things you can do, if you're watching this on the replay, sit down. There you go. If you're watching on the replay, about a day or two after the airing of the live show, I will go through and put chapters on all the activity that's happening during the live stream. That way you don't have to sit through everything. You can just go next, that kind of thing. So try and do that for you. So if you are, well, that's interesting. Where is that individual going? Going north. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, you get a lot of different aircraft in here. UPS flights are usually late afternoon, early evening, and then very early morning, 4 or 5 a.m. So we're not typically here for that. Sometimes we're here for the UPS flights if that's my mission, is to catch them. But with the grounding of the MD-11, which there is one parked, it's kind of straight. You can see the tail of it off in the distance there behind the 767. Sorry, I can't zoom any further in this with this particular camera. But that's been parked here since that fatal accident in Louisville back in November of 2025. So there is quite a mixture of aviation activity. And if you're really into it, we do have freight trains passing right by here. Truly a port here. So we're looking sort of to the south right now. This is more south. This direction would be the departure end of runway 14, and then we have, obviously in the opposite direction would be runway 32, This is the approach end of runway 32. So the Boeing Field has two actual runways that they're parallel, but one is much, much smaller, usually reserved for general aviation traffic. And then the larger one, which is 32 left, 14 right, is much, much bigger. Okay, let's see what we got coming in here. See an aircraft, another NetJets. Global 5500 on final. See that right there. Relatively new plane, just 4 years old. Doing 100 knots over the ground. Just 500 feet up. All right, let's get back to our regular view. Never flown on NetJets before. Touchdown. Step on them brakes. Get some juice into my phone here for a second. It's been on this whole time. There, oh, only halfway. Not bad. Okay, back to normal. So what else? Well, since we can't hear ATC, and that's one more thing I guess I have to fix before the next stream is I just have to look at our map here and see what is coming. NetJet still taxiing. So once we start hitting summer, I think we'll see a lot more activity on the field. Right now, this is predominantly business aviation traffic, and of course, the limited commercial that it has. It really just depends. Did I see a beacon? No, I did not. Like I said, I think tomorrow, if I do stream, I probably will set it up so that I can do it from Boeing Field, or not Boeing Field, Seattle International. Let's see. Yep, and our 777X is still turning tricks. Well, you know what? It doesn't. I mean, if you want to see it, I have plenty of footage of it. It's not. It won't be live today, I don't think, unless this thing decides to take a quick turn towards us. Keeps toying with us. But that's usually, this is usually where they practice. So, yeah, it doesn't really surprise me at all that they're just doing that. They're just doing a bunch of turns. But if you look at the flight, for those of you just joined, if you look at the flight so far today, took off out of Moses Lake. It went to Moses Lake first. I don't know what it did. It picked up some people or whatever, but then started a new flight and decided to zigzag all over the place. And yeah. And right on top of this United. Well, not on top because it's only at 10,000 feet. Yeah, at 10,000 feet, my confidence is not high that this thing is going to be making its way back anytime too soon. But that's okay. I'm sure we'll get some activity around here in the next day. We'll probably run till about 3:30 or so and then call it. So that Boeing has 27 minutes to find its way back here, and I'll stick around for it. Otherwise, yeah, another day. But we'll make it happen. I'm just really curious about... Oh, we got... See, no ATC. I don't know what's going on here. CJ-23 coming from the who knows? We don't know. Just going to keep this pointed down the runway, and at some point we'll catch the aircraft on final. How's that? If you take a look at the last stream that we did from Seattle, you'll notice that there are, as I was talking before, there are chapter markers there. So you can just jump through. I do have 787 on there, and a 330 and a 340. As a matter of fact, that probably that same Lufthansa 340 that was in the stream earlier today. Boom. It's so funny when you're in the smaller general aviation planes. the comical part about it is when you're landing on what they call the big runway, where most of the jets land. You look so, the runway looks massive and you look tiny in comparison. So you can see this the Cessna, this 172 that just landed. Where are you? I can't even see it on camera. Where did you go? It's past. No, that way. There you are. When you'll see when this taxis past, I mean, it's even on the taxiway, it looks small in comparison. But when some of the larger aircraft, especially the 777, pass by here, the wings are hanging over the taxiway by a significant amount. The engines barely fit on the taxiway. It is a sight to behold if you can do it in person. Oh, speaking of which, how in the heck am I this close to the active areas, the movement areas? And the answer is simple, because I'm in a non-movement area and I have access here. So for other reasons than live streaming. So that's why. So we're inside the fence line, which is pretty cool. If you ever do visit Seattle, or if you live in the area close by, and you're interested in aviation, I'm not sure why you would be on this channel if you weren't in some one way or another. But if you are in the area, Boeing Field also happens to be the spot for the Museum of Flight. And if next to the National National Air and Aerospace Museum, I think that's what it is, in DC, this is one of the best collections of all kinds of aircraft. As a matter of fact, if you haven't visited this, there's a few like super rare planes here. We've got a Concorde here. We've got the first 787 is here. The very first 747 also here. There's a YF-11, which was the predecessor to the SR-71 here. There is one of the cool things, at least for me and when I took my family, is that there are places where the kids can interact with certain like real aircraft that have been decommissioned. But the ability to see the aircraft hanging in the museum is one thing, but going into the supplemental part of the museum, which I believe does cost extra, you really can see some incredibly cool aircraft, life size, not cut down, not stripped down, not anything. So this guy just keeps getting in the shot. It doesn't matter right now. Okay, let's see. What else do we have coming in? Anything at the moment? Probably another. Oh, we got a Kenmore Air coming in here. Cessna Caravan. Also, if you're visiting Seattle, one of the coolest places to visit is actually outside of Seattle, and that's the San Juan Islands. Specifically Friday Harbor. That's a cool place. And you can get there on this airline that just went past, Kenmore Air. Kenmore Air has the caravans, but they also have a decent-sized fleet of float planes. And I took a float plane from the lake here in Seattle, which is called Lake Union, up to Friday Harbor and landed in the harbor, which was pretty cool. And then got off at the docks, just walked straight to the hotel, which was not more than, I don't know, a couple blocks off the dock, and spent a weekend there. It was really cool. And it's so beautiful. And you are almost in Canada at that point. You can see the, Vancouver Island, where Victoria is. It's a really cool place. So anyway, just a little data point for you. Kenmore Air is your way to get there. Wow, that rhymed. Sounds like he's doing his run-up. Yeah. Okay, we do have another aircraft from Scottsdale on approach here. I've got the landing lights. G500, nice airplane. Good rollout. Very nice. I also want to try this Seaport airline that's based out of here. Going to Portland by aircraft from Seattle just seems like you spend more time going to Seattle International, parking, checking in, waiting, taxiing, take off, fly over there, land, get out, get out to your car, or get to a taxi or wherever you're going. It just seems like this you just park right at this cute terminal that they have here at the airport and go, and then the security's nothing. So that's another thing I forgot to mention is the security. Oh, no, I mean there's very little security here in terms of there's security, yes, but there's very little people in line for the flight. That's what I meant to say. So it's definitely a more convenient way to travel to Portland, but it's in a PC-12, so you're hunching over to get in and out of it. Not the end of the world. G500 rolled all the way down to the end of the runway. Huh. All right. Let's see what else we got coming in here. Anything? We got a 172. They're out in the practice area, fooling around. We have a this is interesting. Tracking, I don't know if this is going anywhere. We're tracking a 767 who appears to be, unless they're going back to Seattle International, but they'd have to swing further out than that. I don't see them turning towards, I don't know, maybe they're going to come this way. We'll see. Meantime, it looks like we got, is that another Kenmore error? Yep. We'll keep an eye on that 767. Looks like they would need to be turning in by now. But they're only at 4,000 feet. Yeah, they're turning. Oh, look at that. They may be coming in here. That would be cool. All right, let's get back to our Kenmore air. Heard that. Yeah, folks, that 767 looks like it is turning inbound to Boeing Field. See, that's what I'm saying. You can't predict what's happening here. You just can't. All kinds of planes. Let's go turn it back down this way. I mean, if they're coming in, they're going to be Well, it looks like they're lining up for the runway. Let's here. You can take a look. Right. So where it says White Center, that's where we are, kind of upper left-hand corner of the map. The big cluster of airplanes, that's where Seattle is, and then where you see like the net jets. Yeah, and this thing's, it's descending. It's got to be coming in here. Okay, cool. That means I get to play our heavy sound in a second. Yep, I see it. Cool. Coolness, coolness, coolness. Okay. And if we had ATC, we would actually know that. But it is what it is. So this one took off out of Seattle International, did a loop around the southeastern part of the Puget Sound. Didn't even get down to Maple Valley. It's just north of there. So you can see clustered, actually right here as we're watching this aircraft on arrival, you can see you've got Boeing Field, the upper left-hand corner. You got Renton, kind of mid-right side, and you got SeaTac, or it's not really called SeaTac anymore. Forever I called it SeaTac. It's Seattle International now. That actually Flight Radar needs to update. But all clustered within this very tight space, and it makes for some interesting flying for both the flights coming out of Renton and out of Boeing Field, because they're passing through Seattle International's airspace. And unless you're a general aviation pilot like me, where you're not even allowed in the Seattle Class B, Class Bravo airspace. You just don't even ask. You're just not going to get in. Landing lights are on. And I put together a special, we call them stingers in the business, for anytime we get a heavy aircraft, which even at Seattle International is kind of, maybe 1 an hour, 2 an hour if we're lucky. Mostly 175s and 737s. But yeah, here comes the 767. Matter of fact, here comes the heavies.
Here it comes! Get ready for the heavy!
All right, that was my stinger. I don't know. Maybe this is a consolation prize for not getting the 777X here today. I'll check in on it again. But I did say till 3:30, so like I said, if it's coming back, we'll know. All right, 767. Patriots. I think Bob Kraft just landed in town. Well, there's something you don't see every day. Very cool. Oh, are we going to have the pleasure of this taxiing right past us? Can we be that lucky? Well, I do declare We're going to have the Patriots aircraft. This Patriot 767 going right past us. NFL season just, the draft just got done, so I'm not sure what this is about, but whatever. We'll take it. Patriots 767. And all those Super Bowl the trophies on the tail. I wonder what is going on with this individual. Are they taxiing all the way back to go out again? Oh, no. Okay. I see what's going on. So why did they do that? They took a left, then took another left and went past us, and then took another left and now going back over the runway they just landed on. That's because the taxiways. So it was easier for them to roll out to the taxiway they exited at, and then kind of do a U-turn. What a pleasant surprise. See? Just like I said, you never know what you're going to get around here. Sometimes you'll get some gems like this, and other times it's a big old fat goose egg. Okay. Hanging out. Okay, well, I guess that's where they're shutting down. Well, welcome Bob Kraft, or whoever's here. Definitely not a plane that you see very much around here. Sure, it's a common sight out in Massachusetts, not so much here. Okay, let's see if we can check in on our big guy. Well, we have a Max 8. Looks like it's inbound. Oh, we got a PC-12 going to be coming right past us too. So you can see here, we'll switch over. We got this Max 8 coming in. Looks like it's definitely lining up for the runway. So, and obviously it says Boeing Field. So that's okay. Now they're gonna start teasing us. PC-12 coming by. We'll get it. It's right past us here. I believe this is Boeing's PC-12. And very loud. Okay, so Max 8 is says 35 is estimated, so we'll roll with that. Now, I do not see. Go to our flights. No, I don't want to follow that one. That's on the descent. We know that. This guy would be cool to have touchdown here. I think this is going back to Tacoma though. This thing is still drawing squigglies in the sky. Okay, well, okay, they're not. They're just messing with us at this point. So, okay, at least we'll get that 737, and I promise I'll stick around for that one. There goes the Boeing ARF truck. Usually the Boeing Fire Department here on the field, which is different from the King County Fire Department, there's two of them, they'll come out when there's an aircraft that's coming in or departing. That's a test aircraft. Not all the time. I guess it depends on what they're up to. But here's our PC-12. And then the Patriots 767 parked right over there, which is getting backed up. Definitely a windy-ish day. Winds are kicking up a little bit. Oh wow, this is a kind of a rare one. The Cessna P337. Push-pull. This aircraft is 48 years old. You can hear it too, it's got that rumble. See if we can't catch them coming by. As soon as that transponder went off, that thing lost the bill. We weren't tracking this guy anymore. Look at that. Some of you young'uns probably never even seen one of these in person, huh? Push-pull design. Technically, that is a multi-engine aircraft. There goes our PC-12. See you later. And I'm guessing that our 737 should be getting there close on final. Let's see. There's the 337. Yep. It's very close. So this one took off from Renton. Or Renton, depending upon where you live. And it looks like they took it out for a test spin. Jeez, they went all over the place. That is a serious figure eight. I mean, they basically went from one end of the state to the other. Which is great. So, and there they are in the camera window. So let's switch over. Again, this is a 737 MAX 8. I believe this is already... Oh, this is not painted. So this is in the before paint job green. That's what I call it. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. So now they're going to stop. Come on. Oh, no. It's not what I was talking about. They just wanted to test the brakes. They did a good job. They stopped midfield. So this is, you can see here, oh, we're going to get a little drive-by. That's cool. I don't know if they're going to take off again or what. But this, you can see, this is before it gets the paint job. So you can see the wingtips, you probably can see, but as if it passes, well, it's going to have to pass by somehow. But the winglets and the rudder, not even the whole vertical stabilizer, are are painted in the airline's colors. So I don't know what they're hanging out here for, but we'll find out. Well, we'll just kind of hang out here and see what's going on. The 337 is just up. Oh, looks like the 337 is taking off again. So they just landed and they're yeah, we got over to them. 337 is on the roll. Very loud aircraft. That was an intersection departure, so yeah, there we go. Tail, the rudder specifically. So they'll complete the paint job a little bit later on, obviously before it's delivered to the customer. So my guess is, although I'm not 100% certain, my guess is that this aircraft will, the 737 MAX 8 will find itself taking the active runway again and taking off. So, or they're going to do a brake test. Who knows? Again, you just never know what's going on around here. So we'll just keep an eye on that. And hopefully, let me just make sure here. If, you know what, if you guys have been chatting, my apologies. I don't believe I've had the correct chat up this whole time. But if you haven't been chatting, okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay, great. Perfect. Let me Let's see what we get here. Give me a second. I am just bringing up some chat here. Okay, it seems like, yeah, we just had my chat disconnected for some reason, but I am back on chat. Turn this computer off. Robinson R44 in the distance there. Yeah, I don't think 341 is going to be actually what's happening here. As a matter of fact, that's going to Incheon. Let's see. Yep, our just so you see, our buddy the 777X is doing loop-de-loops all over the place up in north central Washington. So unlikely we'll see them. Oh, that came out of nowhere. Sorry about that. It's okay. We'll catch this aircraft. I believe we'll be catching them as they taxi past here because they taxied out earlier. I don't see that 737 MAX 8 though that went down south. Let's see. Oh no, they're there. Just couldn't see them. Let's see, hopefully this guy. And this aircraft. This is the Australian Air Force. Oh, and we got another 737. So it's a parade of 737s. And a Bonanza. All right. Well, here's some more 737s. Poseidon, yeah. Looks like something. It's kind of cool to catch the Patriots 767. And now we've got a couple of 737 Maxes taxiing out. This is a Max 8 in the foreground. And yes, it is a Poseidon. Poseidon. Yeah, I love 737s. Air Europa. Europa's a moon. It's also Europe, I'm guessing. Yes, that is an P-8, sorry. Poseidon P-8. It's on its way. Something about these engines sound louder than your traditional. I think this is, yeah, this is based on the older platform prior to the MAX. So, our first Max 8 is still hanging out at the end of the runway. Second Max 8 is now behind that one. And then this Poseidon is going to taxi back where all the gray planes are. Okay, let's do a little look here, see what we see. That is, oh, that's definitely not coming here. Where did she go? There she is. Come on, man. Get back over here. Trying to get a little bottleneck over here. Something you don't see very much. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, now our tests. See if he's going to do a high-speed, well, I guess a rejected takeoff test, or if he's just going. You will find out in a second. Yep, brake test. Looks like the Poseidon's back in. Back in the barn. Looks like these two are right on top of each other, but trust me, they're not. Speaking of which, there we go. Oh, that 337 came back. I didn't even notice it. One 737 gone. fuel, actually 2. And then there were none. We do have some business jets making their way down to the departure end of the runway. So we can looks like we've got Challenger 350 going to Victoria. Behind that, Citation. Behind that, I believe it's such. Yeah, another Challenger 350. So, little guys. Although I would not refuse one if somebody offered it to me. We have another aircraft on short final here. Like a Cessna. Yep. $172. See, student pilot or not? Let's see. Touchdown. Okay. Let's get back to our business jets. See who's first.
Tower, the Cessna is on the ground now. Cessna 61126, turning left, contact ground point, enter today.
Interesting. Shouldn't be getting an echo like that.
Dream 901 Charlie Whiskey, Boeing Tower, wind 30011, runway 32 left, clear to land number 2 behind a Saratoga, turning a 1 mile of base final.
Clear to land 32 left, number 2, 1 Charlie Whiskey, thanks. Boeing Tower, Union 5704, holding over Vashon, reporting 7.
Rainier Sky 704, Boeing Tower, you can join the Vashon arrival, proceed inbound.
Vashon arrival inbound, 704, thanks.
Here's that Cirrus, just touched down. Yep, here comes the Boeing ARF. Again. Let's see. Okay, they're just hanging out. Who do we have on final? Anybody? Negative. We do have a Gulfstream 280. See if we'll catch these business jets. I'll do one more check on our friend out in Moses Lake. Yep, just doing loop-to-loops. Okay, I'm done with you. I'm done with you today. Still waiting on these 3 biz jets. What's going on here, folks? And we're backed up on this side. It's a 280. There you are. And there the parade starts. See it, silly ATC can just decide to go out again. I don't know what's going on with them, but sorry about that. Yep. Bob Kraft comes into town and everybody else gets out of town.
793, thanks for your patience. Wind 29011, runway 32 left at Alpha 9, clear for take.
Thanks for his patience. Oh, they're the ones standing here waiting on him. Bye-bye. All right, let's see what we see. Next biz jet going out. All right. Final corporate jet. We shall see. And again, this is a... Oh, going to Miami. Challenger going to Miami. Maybe, eventually. Not quite yet, but soon. Looking good. Come on. You know you can do it. Okay. Got something going on. I'm not sure what. Are we waiting? Is it? Frequently what happens here is there is a... they have to wait for what's called an IFR release, and that usually comes from Seattle Center. And they're competing with traffic from Seattle International, not more than a few miles away, so. Let's see. Another Kenmore Air. Getting out of here. Maybe I'll get it. There it is. Sunbelt Rentals. All right. Back to our corporate jet, just hanging out. Not quite yet. We're still waiting here. Huh. Well, still waiting here. Don't have anything yet. I'm seeing if there's anybody on. We got another aircraft on final. Ooh, what? What is that? Oh, here's an E350. Where is it? There it is. Delta A350 going to Taipei. See you later. And we're still waiting on here. Just waiting to see what's going on. This might be the lull we need. We do have a Challenger 300 on extended final, and then we have a G200 coming in as well. The arrival of the corporate jets, apparently. Look at this guy. Just look at him. Just out there tooling around. Oh, got some Air Force jets. What's this about? KC-48 Pegasus. KC-135. Another KC-135. Tankers. Bunch of tankers. Okay. Finally taking the active. All right, this will be our last aircraft for the day. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. Really appreciate it. I will chapter mark this live stream when it's processed by YouTube. I'll chapter mark it for everybody so that you can come back and watch the highlights, like that plane landing. That was fun. Oh, where'd it go? There we are. Going to Miami. And that'll do us, folks. Enjoy your weekend. If I stream tomorrow, I will post. I'll let you know. If it's a North Flow, you might find me at SeaTac. So hopefully you can tune in. Looking forward to doing it all over again. Take care.
That helicopter drops through crossing center line 300 feet now, no factor. Runway 1 forward left, 22 to ballpark. T-7 Mike, first station, crossing winds with 32070, runway 14 right.